Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Kat, known as phamerina.planning here on YouTube and on Instagram. And today's video is a back plan with me, which is kind of my catch-all term for any kind of plan with me's that show up in this binder here, which are usually pre-2024 or maybe repeats of weeks that I want to just use more kits for. So this one is going to be part one of my honeymoon spreads, my honeymoon I took in 2021. So this will be for the week, not even the week, the days of September 30th to October 4th. And I'm going to be using this kit from Hello Petite Paper called Fairytale. It's in an older format, as you can tell. The pages are, you hold them horizontally, like long side down, versus the 9 full box format that we're kind of familiar with now. And I do apologize if the audio sounds a little wonky. I have to use slightly different equipment for a few of these voiceovers because I'm trying to squeeze them in wherever I can. So apologies if the audio is not up to where it is, and I'll make a mention of that whenever that happens. So this is, like I said, for part one of my honeymoon in 2021. This was actually something that we had planned shortly after our wedding, because we got married in 2020. We wanted to buy a house, so we didn't want to necessarily be spending money on a honeymoon right away. Plus, we weren't sure what we wanted to do for our honeymoon. So thus why we didn't go on one right away. So over the course of a few months after our wedding, we decided that we wanted to do like a road trip up to the Northeast. Because I had been wanting to go up to like Salem and see the leaves, the changing of the fall leaves up in the Northeast, because it's very beautiful up there. So we decided to plan a road trip, with a road trip up through Mystic to Salem, take a little trip over to Boston, then hit, oh my goodness, what is that place called? Where Acadia National Falls is. Or not National Falls, National Park. Acadia National. I should know where the Banff. No, Banff was where we went on the other one. Where are you? Bar Harbor. I was like, why can't I remember the name of that city? So that's what we decided to do for our honeymoon. And at some point, I spoke about it in my like actual wedding plan with me, that there was a period of time that I was really unsatisfied with my like wedding photos, but mostly like wedding portraits. So I asked my husband if it was going to be okay if we took 1-year anniversary photos. And then we planned the 1-year anniversary photos to kind of kick off our honeymoon. He's not really a photos guy, but I really appreciate that he does that then for me, because I think photos, part of it is a little bit of vanity. I won't deny that. Like, who doesn't want pretty pictures to look at? But also, I think it's super important to have photos to capture moments in time, because when we are gone from this earth, what will our families have to look back on? What will become part of the archives of time, right? Having these snapshots is partially selfish and partially a way to ensure that our families have something tangible to look at. So that's like overall the what this video and then the next back plan with me are going to be, because if I play my cards right, this should be going up on October 3rd, which is my wedding anniversary. Um, so that is that. I chose to use this kit. I think originally I had like an actual like wedding kit in place because I have like two more of those, I think. Because I never got to plan my own. Oh, no, I think I have one more. Which I don't know. Maybe I'll hold on to it for like a 10-year or something. Um, but where was I going with that? Oh, I decided to use this one because it had like kind of wedding vibes, but not necessarily wedding vibes, right? You can use this for other occasions. So that's why I decided to go ahead and use this kit here. And then I did a 5-day split, meaning that I had 3 extra columns to work with. I think originally um, I had another idea, or originally I was like really excited because I was like, oh, cool, now I can do like some cool column work, sidebar work. But when I went to sit down and actually do this, I was like, what? What do I do? Right? How am I doing this? Like, I feel like a lot of us have our own kind of routine, right? I would say standardly, most of us start with the bottom washi, then we work up into the date cover area, and then we do our full boxes. I know that's kind of my general routine. Um, Although I do have more of a focus on my sidebars a lot. So I know for me, my kind of general moving through my layout is bottom washi, work up maybe through my sidebar, then through my center scene. Right. If I decide to have kind of like the center bridge, then I move through my center bridge and then up into my date cover. That's kind of usually the last thing I do, unless going up into the date cover is part of my sidebar. Um, so I'm sitting here like looking at this spread or looking at these pages, and I'm like, okay, so I have 5 days. So what am I doing with 3 of these columns? How am I distributing my like planned days and not planned days? Um, do I want it to be like split in the middle? Like I sat there for a little while. I'm like, I actually don't like. I was really excited about this, but now I'm like, what do I do with all of this extra space? Like sometimes it's nice to have the extra space when you feel like you're cramped, but now I'm just like, what do I do with all of it? Um, so I decided to have double sidebars, one of which was a double sidebar, and have a special moment calling out, the 1 year anniversary, which the spread will encompass my actual 1 year anniversary. Um, and I guess I should have prefaced this ahead of time. I'm doing this with like no notes. I usually kind of mentally prepare myself to do voiceovers, but I kind of just decided to sit down and do one. So it might be a little chaotic. Um, and for my sorry, I'm just like responding to things that are happening on the screen. For my like day script thingies, my Monday, Sunday, yada yada yada. I said that weird. I decided I didn't want to use the day covers that came with the kit because I was only using 5 days, and I felt like I would have wasted two of those if I decided to go with them. Not that I mean, I personally have no qualms about throwing out like a sticker or two that I'm not using. Um, but I felt like it. I felt guilty about it, I guess. So I decided to go ahead and do an abbreviated a days thing. So this spread goes from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I maybe I'm a weirdo. Maybe my college was the weird one. But college has trained me that the abbreviations for the days of the week are MTWR for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and U for Sunday. So whenever I see like kits that use the abbreviations and they go MTWTFSS, I'm like, I guess like if it was my college the only one that did that. Like because I remember sitting there. I remember looking at my first schedule and thinking, oh man, sweet, I have Thursday off, only to realize that R stood for Thursday. So that made me really sad. But I was a little baffled. I was like, how would I have so many days off? Has a first year, like how does that happen, in a science major mostly. I know some other majors it'd probably be a little bit easier to have um, like free days during classes, but that's when I learned that R is an abbreviation for Thursday, at least for Muhlenberg College. So let me know if my school is the weird one, or if any other schools have those abbreviations for their days of the week. Um, yeah. So what do I do now? What am I gonna talk about? Um, I see. Yeah, I told you I came in without a game plan, so it's gonna definitely show in this voiceover. Um, honeymoon, honeymoon. I guess why? Actually, really, at this point in time, I don't really remember why we decided to take a road trip. Well, I think money was definitely a factor. We just bought a house. We moved in. So the honeymoon was in, let's say, early October, right? First week of October. We bought a house and moved into our house in August. When we purchased the house, we knew we were going to be doing the honeymoon, so we had already had that prep. But when we were planning our honeymoon, I think we also realized we wanted to be in a house in 2021. So we couldn't really afford to take an international trip. I think also for me, as much as I thoroughly enjoy the idea of laying on the beach all day, enjoying the sand, not the sand, the sun. I hate sand. Enjoying the sun, you know, I think I would be too restless um, doing that for an extended period of time. I'm even now the type of person, as I think I've discussed before, that I can't really sit still. I don't really understand resting, quote unquote, resting. Um, I feel like I need to be busy to be productive. So like even the thought of a honeymoon and like sitting on the beach all day, I'll get bored. Like I just know that about myself. I get bored when we do day trips to the beach. I'm like, so what are we doing? I go out to the water, I play for a little bit, and then I get bored, I sit back down. I'm like, dang, now I'm sitting in the sun all day. There's sand sticking to me. I don't really like that. So I think that's part of why we decided on a road trip. I know we wanted to explore the Northeast more. I'd never been to Salem. I don't remember going to Boston. So it's effectively, I didn't go to Boston. Um, so I think cost was one, interest was another reason. Two, we're the type of people, like my husband is definitely an adventurer. He thrives on going and doing things. So I think that's also another reason for that. Um, and yeah, so it was like a 10-day trip. I remember we returned on the 10th. Um, and I guess I'll talk along like snafus. I know there was one there was one day where like, oh, this day didn't turn out as good as we planned it. But yeah, that's kind of like the overview um, of the thing. I guess we can go through what happened. On Thursday, the September 30th, that was the day we were getting our 1 year anniversary photos done. They were done at sunset. It was beautiful. I was allowed to have both of my wedding outfits. So um, I had my traditional aoyai and um, my wedding dress done. You know, I had hair and makeup done. Again, Alabak photography. If you're in that area, definitely would recommend you look those guys up. So I also picked up our um, new top tier. So brain. So with our bakery, There's the tradition of like freezing your top tier and then eating it a year later, but they were like, hey, so we'll give you a new top tier, so don't even worry about that. Because there's like this tradition in weddings to save your top tier. I did look it up as to why people do that, but I do not remember. So let me Google it right now and see what why people do that. My anniversary. So at the time, it was customary for couples to save the top tier of their cake to enjoy on their first anniversary or celebrate the christening of their first child. This is according to Caramanda's Big Shop on the Googles. The cake's preservation was thought to symbolize fertility, good fortune, and the couple's enduring love. Yeah, now we got to do first tier. It was great. So we had the photo shoots. We finished packing. And then on Friday, we said goodbye to our cats, made sure the babysitter, not babysitter, we didn't have the kid yet, the house sitter, had everything she needed. Told her, we'll feed the cats, but we're leaving in the morning, so you have to come in the PM to feed them. And then we drove to Mystic, Connecticut, which my husband had been to before, but I had never been to Mystic. Mystic, I believe it was like a 2-hour drive from our place. It was a very scenic drive. I remember it being a very pretty drive. Um, and we went to go to. We got in, dropped ourselves at the hotel, drove over to like a little downtown area, um, and we went to the Cloak and Wand, which is kind of like a Harry Potter esque type of store. I think it was more like a shopping center, maybe not the downtown. There is downtown, but we went to kind of more of like a shopping plaza center area. So we went to like the Cloak and Wand. There was an Alice in Wonderland themed cafe there. Grabbed some boba tea. Um, and then we kind of finished the night. I think that night we actually went and got McDonald's or something, just because we didn't want to think too hard about meals, because eating out's expensive. So that was that. The next day, we planned to go to the aquarium, the Mystic Aquarium. We went to the Seaport Museum. What is this day? This is October 2nd. So this was the day before our anniversary. Because I remember we went to like a seafood place the day before our anniversary because we made reservations for what we thought was going to be a nice restaurant for our actual wedding anniversary. And we had some fantastic food at this other place. I don't remember what it's called now. Maybe I wrote it on the screen. Um, but then on our 1 year anniversary, from what Max remembered from the last time he was there, it was a really good restaurant, like a little bit fine dining, right? Um, but we had a much better experience on the second than we did on the third. The third was our actual anniversary. Yes, we did go to a cemetery. It's kind of my husband's thing to go visit cemeteries whenever we're like not home. Like whenever we travel, he finds it fascinating to visit cemeteries and see who's buried there, who important is there. Like it's like a history thing, and he loves it. Then we went to downtown Mystic, just to hang out, do some shopping, do some walking around. On our actual wedding anniversary, and had that like slightly disappointing dinner that I mentioned. On the 4th, we had a commute to Salem. I actually remember we had to like stop at the grocery store for some reason to buy something, but I don't remember what it is now. Um, but it was a really rainy commute over there. It was actually kind of like irritating because I remember hitting construction and trying to figure out where we had to go because it was kind of confusing. But we ended up there anyway. We figured it out. We went to Emporium 22, and then since it was so late, actually, we had to drive over to Salem. Our hotel wasn't in Salem, it was like 20 to 30 minutes outside of Salem. Um, we had to drive back, so we made dinner easy, and we got Wendy's for the night. And then that concludes part 1 of my honeymoon series, I guess. Maybe you could call it a series. My honeymoon videos. Part 2 will be out next week. And yeah, that one has more like of the fall things. Like Salem, this one also has, yeah, next one will also have Salem in it too, which would be pretty fun. So that's the video. Sorry for the chaotic voiceover. Well, I'm not sorry, but like I just want to acknowledge that I know it's somewhat chaotic. And I'm back. I know I posted another video before this, but I'm back. Getting back into the swing of things, trying to navigate life at the moment. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'd be so happy if you liked the video, if you gave it a like, leave a comment with any of your thoughts down below, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.